Hello, everyone. It's been, I think, a week or so, a couple of weeks that I haven't had a chance to talk to you, and today I want to have a little short talk with you regarding an email I received, or not an email, a comment on one of the videos, the one that says, "Are you still depressed?" and stuff like that, and he mentioned that the video has been helping him, but it's been but he just came out of a 4 year relationship and it's hard not to talk to her. And it's been 3 months now. So I thought maybe I can throw in a few words, and perhaps for a bunch of you that you're expecting this emotional challenge or stage of your life to uh, change, how you should expect it, and maybe you can, I can give you some pointers that you can ponder, and that could be of some kind of a help. All right. You spend some time and instruct or construct a building of some magnitude. It takes you 4 years to build this building. And now some earthquake or some natural um, thing happens, and the building is not there anymore, or what you build is not there. And you feel like the whole 4 years of time that you spent on constructing this building, all its memory and all its effects that was part of you and had a lot to do with how you identify yourself, how you know yourself, suddenly disappear, and you just have another building right where it was and feel wonderful as it did before. Well, that's in construction of real estate, that even is unreasonable to think, because it takes a while to get all the material out of the site, the demolished material out of the site, and then clean out the site and excavate again, get the foundation out and throw it out and all that, whatever it needs to be done. And then, and only then, design a new building, new material, new everything, and that will itself take a while to build. So we can't really expect, having finished a 4 year relationship, and then in 3 months we should all be fine and dandy about it again. It's just unreasonable. So let's be realistic. We've gone through some emotional challenge. We've had a breakup. And this is not a small thing. When you realize that this is not a small thing, so you would actually be reasonable in your expectation as far as when things again becomes normal. Even a storm, once it finishes, still slowly the waves slow down and become calm again. So there's a little time period that you should reasonably expect for this to go away. And a 4 year relationship, and then you expect in 3 months everything to be all fine and dandy. Well, it's unreasonable. So don't don't um, don't lose hope, and don't think that because in 3 months he hasn't gone, everything is not normal in my mind again, then therefore it's a disaster. No, it's normal. It's very normal to keep thinking about it, or 3 months not being enough, and you still be, have in some kind of emotional turmoil, or come and go thing. These are all normal things that you should expect. You can't expect, just because you looked at some video or listened to me or whatever else you may have done, then suddenly everything, boom, gone. If that was the case, hey, perfect. That would have been great. But it's not natural. And we all follow a natural course of things. And this also has its own natural course. It's like expecting, when you recover from a cold, that it's forever. There'll never be a cold again. But we all know it's not true. Even a cold that we catch, when we nurse it and we get over it, after a while, a year or 6 months or another, whatever length it may be, we may catch cold again, which is okay. It's normal to catch a cold and get rid of it again. The fact that you got rid of the cold should always bring to your mind that when you catch cold again, you can be sure that you can get rid of it again because you did once before. So having a cold, catching a cold should not be detrimental to you. That, oh, I caught cold again, so I'm in trouble, so it'll never go. No, you catch a cold, you get rid of it. And if it's 6 months later, a year later, you catch a cold again, you get rid of it. It's okay. It's part of natural sequence of things. So don't be surprised that, oh, I haven't been able to forget my 4-year-old relationship or 1-year-old relationship or 6 months relationship. They all have a certain duration, and it'll take time to completely forget. It takes time until these waves completely become calm. It takes time until the cold gets out, and then it may come back and you may think about it again. Again, you will do things that you should be doing and it goes away. And eventually it becomes less and less comes back. As your immune system gets stronger and cold, you get less and less cold as well in that particular year. Same thing with the breakup. It may come back to your mind, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Who said that you're not supposed to be talking to your ex? If it's been a long-term relationship, I'm not talking about 6 months or a year. It's been a long-term relationship, like 4 years or 5 years or whatever. Well, it's normal to interact if it happens, if it's called for, if it comes up. Discuss matters if it needs to be, if there are children involved. Of course, you have to be in contact, and then eventually it'll become a normal contact for the purpose of giving love and raising the children properly. Otherwise, you still would need to be in some kind of a contact if it was called for between both of you after a long-term relationship. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I have this connected properly for this. Uh-oh, I may have just messed up here. Okay, let's see. So you would want to be reasonable as far as giving it enough time, and expect interaction is okay. It's not a big deal. Being nice to each other actually helps if it's a long-term relationship. If it's a short-term relationship, no, just forget it, get rid of it, go on. And also remember, one of the reasons that you keep it takes longer for you and you have this emotional pain constantly is because we are accustomed to constantly want to fix things. So we keep roaming around in our consciousness and remember all those memories. And then we try to turn what we remember of the actuality of what it was when we were together, turn it into a satisfactory results, kind of changing the events in our mind. Because when we remember something, we think it's real, but it's not real. It's dead. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. But we have this thing of want to fix everything in life and want to make sure everything is perfectly good. And that is a problem. Stop roaming around in your consciousness and get out of it. This matter is done, is finished. It doesn't exist anymore. That building that we talked about at the beginning of this conversation is demolished, is gone. It doesn't exist. And just get the debris out and start building another. And once you build another, while you're building it, you may go through some pain and remember, oh, how this building was, how much time I spent to fix it and all that to build it. But once you build a new one, hardly you will remember. And if you do remember anything of the old building, it would be okay, no big deal. There wouldn't be an emotional punch to it. So be reasonable to think that it's not necessary for you to keep thinking about the events of the past, which doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. And trying to fixing it by thinking about it, because we human beings think we got to fix everything, we got to repair everything, we got to change them. And if we think about them in our memory, we can actually think about a different scenario. Oh, we should have done this, then I can change it. No, it's like when you come out of an exam in your high school or university or whatever. Remember how you compare answers with the other students, and then you say, oh, I should have done this. It was this decimal, it wasn't that, it was this answer B, and it wasn't answer C. And then you keep going through your mind that all I had to do to get a B or to get a C, or if I would have just done this, it wasn't a big deal, it was easy, I could have done it. And you keep going through this in your mind, thinking that you can fix and repair the past, whatever it was, which is useless, really. You're just bothering yourself too much. It's already done, gone. I remember when I was in university, Dr. Ferris was professor of the, head of the business department, and at that particular time I was taking this course, Behavior in Organization. And Professor Ferris was my favorite professor, and actually was my advisor. I always remember him in wonderful emotions and energy. A good role model. Dr. Ferris, in one of his lectures, a part of that course, said at one day that says, at the time one makes a decision, he or she believes that that decision is correct. Which is true. Well, if later on that person thinks that decision wasn't correct, because later on he would have access to more knowledge and information about whatever it was decision that he made, which at that time he didn't have these extra information. So you cannot later on judge and say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. No, at the time that you did whatever you did and believed that that was the correct decision. And we're not talking about a malice decision, harming to anyone, or this sort of action. We're talking about civil decisions, whatever, business decisions or emotional decision, relationship decisions, positive, civilized manners, not harming or hurting. So that's not correct. Those decisions, you must think it through and do not do things that could harm or hurt other people, like, physical hurt or, destruction or whatnot stuff. But we're talking about at the time one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. So if we didn't believe it was correct, we wouldn't do it. Normal, sane, civilized person would not do a decision that he thinks or she thinks is not correct. So at the time that we're doing, we believe it's correct. And therefore, it's not right to keep thinking about it and regretting it and thinking you should have done something else, because you couldn't have done something else. Why? Because you didn't. You did this, whatever decision it was that you did, because that's the kind of information you had at the time and knowledge that you had at the time. And based on that, you did the best that you could, and you believed that decision was correct. So now, going back in your mind and trying to fix and repair and change the scenarios into your consciousness, it's useless, because whatever is in your consciousness is dead. It's not alive. You cannot change anything. It's like going in front of a lemon tree that there is no lemon in it, and trying to take a fresh lemon off of it. There is no lemon. It's already gone. The lemon's already picked. Is gone. It's not there. Or go in front of a pomegranate tree in springtime or before springtime, just when the winter is finishing, or in winter. There is no pomegranate. You can't expect to say, well, I'm here in front of the tree, and I'm expecting to pick a fresh pomegranate fruit. Well, it's not season. It's not in the season. You gotta be there at the right time. Otherwise, it doesn't exist for you to pick it. So what you're trying to fix in your head, roaming around your consciousness, trying to think about the old and past relationship and how it was, and I'm missing it and all that, it's just a waste of your time. Nothing is there anymore. That relationship doesn't exist anymore. The pomegranate tree doesn't have, it's not in season to be in front of it and expect that, oh, I can now pick it. And don't wait for it. Just go on and go to other trees at that season, and then when the right season comes back and that's a different tree, different pomegranate. So what I'm trying to say is that don't live in the past. The past is gone. It's all finished. That relationship is gone. Don't frustrate yourself, and don't wonder that why this happened to me. Well, look, water coming through the riverbed must travel through this riverbed, whatever, however shitty it may be, garbage or debris or not good quality water or I don't know, shit or whatever it is, that water must pass that riverbed to get to the ocean. And you should focus on the ocean, not that path right now. Same thing. Your relationship is ended in such a way that you keep remembering yourself in it and identify with how it was, and that's how you know yourself. Now you wonder, where is it? Who am I? These things that I used to identify myself with, it's not there anymore. But don't analyze that. Just go through the riverbed like the water, flow, and focus on the ocean. Focus on the fact that you have gone through this time that is necessary for it to pass, and focus on the fact that then you have advanced your life, continued your life, and done the things you had to do, and got busy with positive things, and met new people, and then there will be the mouth of the ocean. That there's so many other things in there. You will be arriving to somewhere better. But in order to get to that destination, you got to pass through this shitty riverbed that you may think your life is on. But in fact, your life is not in a bad place. It is continuing its journey toward where it was supposed to go. And this was part of the stations that you passed through in order to get to that place that you prefer. And you may not even know it, but that is your destination. This wasn't. If this was your destination, this relationship, it would have stayed. If it's not staying, that means it wasn't. So then let the nature take its course. Go on, and don't keep thinking about how much you miss it. Think about that, what's in store for you, and you continue your life. Life goes on. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is, what was it? We talked about the riverbed, we talked about the lemon tree, we talked about the pomegranate tree, we talked about the building, and the cold. We talked about the cold. So there's nothing else I want to tell you. I just want to tell you that give it time, and this is normal process that you're going through, and don't expect 3 months to remedy your 4-year-old relationship. It's normal, and having contact with a long-term relationship partner, it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's nice to be able to, but don't expect anything coming from that contact. You got to completely be okay with that and go on. But if there's a contact necessary, go ahead. So anyhow, I just wanted to share this with you to make sure that you understand you cannot expect things to be suddenly all perfectly well with no emotional pain just because you've called it a quits or you've left each other and it's done. It's done, but the residuals you may carry through. It's like a cold. You catch it and later on you recover. Then you may remember it again. It's like catching cold again. And then again, you recover. And every time it will be better. And eventually you will be somewhere else that you won't catch cold that much. Maybe, I don't know, catch something else like sinus problem. So have a wonderful day, and I hope that the recording at the beginning of this thing wasn't too bad because I hadn't connected the right mic to it. But hey, have a good day, and I'm sure everything will be good. Enjoy good tea. Sometimes it helps.